Welcome to the Product Teardown September. I am your host, Adam Walker. I manage product marketing at Candu. And to give you some context, the Product Teardown is where we have two startups and two guest designers who will provide feedback to the startups about their product communication on their website, their product onboarding, and then the customer journey to reach the first aha moment. And to kick things off, I want to ask the guest designers to please introduce themselves. Rocío, could you get started?
Hello, I'm Rocío. I'm product designer at Candu. I'm based in Sevilla, Spain. Yeah, and I'm really happy to be here and help in this Teardown.
Hey, I'm Danita. I'm currently in Hawaii, and I'm a freelance UX design consultant.
Great. Sai, maybe just quickly introduce yourself and then we'll dive into Sid's Broca.
Sure. Hey, I'm Sai Krishna. I'm the founder of Superblog. Previously built a couple of apps and games with millions of downloads, and right now building the world's fastest blogging platform.
Awesome. So Sid, why don't you get started? Intro yourself. What is Broca? And then if you could give us a quick demo of the product, and then I hate to say it, but you're going to experience a teardown.
All right. My name is Sid, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Broca. Prior to starting this company, I was a marketer at a number of different companies, built and scaled marketing teams. And through my journey as a marketer, I noticed that creating content, which is the most important part of marketing, is also very time-consuming and difficult. So I built Broca, which is an AI platform to help marketers create that content faster using AI. Basically, the way it works is if you're a marketer, or I hope the way it works, and we will see in the teardown if it works. If you're a marketer, you can come in, you can tell us about what your brand is, your product, and then we can help you create that ad copy, landing page content, blog content, and so on. So I'm going to show you the whole sign up process now, and I guess I can share my screen. Yeah. So just going to sign up here, and I'm going to create like a sort of a new account. So this is your standard, and then hit continue. So the first thing we ask is for some information about your company, right? And we use this to help understand what your company does. And then we can use that content or we could use this sort of like background and context when generating your content. So just basic couple of sentences.
I'm excited. I didn't try this with Candu.
Let's create a new campaign. Basically, everything in Broca is a campaign. If you want to do a product launch, an ebook promotion, webinar, you wanted to promote the product teardown, could have been a campaign. And let's just do maybe like traffic. We want to bring in traffic to a page. This is just, we've got like the intercom pop-ups helping you. Basically, want to do, let's say we want to do this. We want to promote this feature adoption feature. So I'm going to go and say feature promotion, right? So the name is feature adoption, and there you go. And then I want to promote this on various channels. So I just given it like a couple of sentences. Probably could do one more sentence. All right. So I'm going to hit next. And what it's going to try and come up with here is some core messaging. So the concept of core messaging is essentially when you are promoting something, you don't just start by writing the ad. You start by saying, all right, who is this for? What are we trying to communicate? What are the value props here, right? So here we go. Tagline or headline: build beautiful user experiences without writing any code. Value prop: user adoption is the make or break of any product. Getting users to adopt your product is hard. Make it easy for them to do this by surfacing the features. Our no code editor makes it simple. So you've got like some headlines and value props here. And then you've got some key benefits. What benefits will a user have when using the feature adoption feature by Candu? Surface features your customers want, announce new features to your customer, increase feature adoption. So those are three big benefits they'll get. And it's basically all generated this purely through AI, right? There's a couple of phrases here and there that I've taken from the Candu brand and Candu website, but the rest is generated based on that. So now that we've got this as our core messaging, which seems fine to me, I can now go ahead and create the actual ad content and social media promotion. So now that I'm clear about, okay, here are the value props you want to be talking about, and here are the benefits our customers will get when using this product. So let's go ahead and generate all our end channel content. It's going to take a few seconds. The AI is thinking. There are actual humans at the back end. No, I'm joking. It's really AI. I used to joke earlier that the AI stood for actually Indian, because I'm allowed to make
a lot of these. You're allowed to make, but actually a lot of these, what do they call them? Data tagging companies are based in India.
Yeah. It's not actually, yeah. So here we go. You've got some headlines for your Google ads: build beautiful features, code-free product experiences, build any beautiful design.
Super cool.
So there's a bunch of stuff here. No code, no headaches.
You're going to put our copywriter, out of work.
The way I think about it is more like a sort of a copy assistant. Like it helps your copywriter be faster. The copywriter may take this and say, okay, I like this. I like these. It's short, punchy, and quick. But then I want to expand on this. So you can just copy that and then paste it in your Facebook editor, right?
Great.
And then you can scroll down to here to see, like, you don't need a developer to build beautiful Twitter,
Great.
LinkedIn, all of that kind of stuff. There you go.
Great. Thank you, Sid.
Yeah, that is it. And then just to complete for the product thing, you can go back here. And so you have all your campaigns living here from past. You can go back into a previous campaign, or you can create a new campaign from here. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. So Rocío, Danita, the floor is yours. Where would you
Yeah.
like to get started?
So I think just as an overview of everything, I think then we can go part by part, but generally I think the main improvement would be to make sure that the aha moment comes before, because it's a complex product. And I think there should be a place in the marketing side in where you really make sure that the user is understanding that. Also because the user needs to put a lot of information in order to get the app working properly. And it's common that users don't want to add a lot of information when they are testing the product. So for me, when I first came in and I just tested the product, for if you add just test, is that it doesn't work at all. But then if you add real content, it's really interesting. And that's when the aha moment comes. So how do you engage users so that are committed to add real content into the platform in order to get the real value of it?
Makes sense.
And then the other thing I would say in general for the actual app, I think it's really great if you're already an experienced marketer, but imagine you're somebody who is building out your brand, your personal brand, and you're just getting into marketing. So there's a couple of places where I feel like if you're experienced at marketing, you'd get stuck. Like you wouldn't understand, for example, where you're supposed to paste the copy into Facebook, or where you're supposed to paste the copy into.
I think the best thing is if you can share your screen again and we can go through first the marketing side and from there go to the product. I think that will be
For sure.
Yeah.
And to let you all know, we have about 9 minutes. So we'll pick out the highlights.
Yeah, so I think starting on the landing page on this hero banner, I think this is a very important moment because that's where your value proposition should show. And I felt it was a lot of, and like I want to see just one sentence in where I can understand it. And the other part that I was missing is an image of the product. It doesn't need to be here, which also helps, but maybe on the landing page somewhere, having a GIF, something that will help the user understand how the real product looks like.
I was thinking maybe it could be like an animation of you typing in the text and how that then generates the marketing copy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then in relation to the marketing side, generally, I've seen a couple of small things that would be possible to improve, which is, for example, the get started button at the end of the page seems like part of the footer. And I think it deserves its own space with a nice image that would represent this is the call to action that will lead the people into the site after understanding what you are doing. Yeah, and I think generally on the marketing side, there's another place, I think in under solutions, generally there's a lot of copy, a lot of text. Yeah, I think it was on use case. I can't remember right now, but yeah, exactly. Like the general idea that I got is that we could simplify that copy and make it more visual in general. Danita, do you have any other comments regarding?
Do you want to go back into the app?
Yeah, we won't be, the onboarding is through the onboarding where you enter your information, you won't be able to.
The only thing was, one of the things I thought was interesting is the help is hidden under the profile. And then also when you go to the help center, that's where the use cases are. And there's no, it's not easily, that's not where I would think use case library would be. So it might be helpful if, even if it has to live in the same place, if you have another list item that says use cases.
Like somewhere here in this.
It could be there, or it could be in the drop down. I also was thinking maybe instead of hiding some of those things under the dropdown, you might want to put them as links somewhere in the app, like across the top with some kind of top navigation. Because the only thing I expect to see under the profile is settings.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, in relation to this page, so when you first log into this page, you have like a welcome message, but there's a ton of empty space that you could use to reinforce the idea what you are doing here. And I was thinking maybe adding some kind of stepper, a list of things that the user needs to do in order to get something finished. I think this
actually, oh, sorry. I think maybe if we could go through that again, because I remembered, Rocío, you even made a point earlier about a double login. So could you actually sign up one more time? And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rocío. Sorry about that.
Okay, I think I know what you mean about login. So you click here, you hit sign up, and then you have to there's another page here where you
and then another page, right?
Oh wait, I'm still logged in. And then you come back to this page again, right?
Yes, exactly. I think there's two things. One is that all the three links will lead you to the same page, and it's different opportunities, it's different flows, right? Doesn't want the same kind of information if they are logging in than if they are signing for the first time. So you can use this as an opportunity to give different messages to different kind of people. You have a ton of space again here, maybe dividing the page into two parts and having the sign up form on one side, and then the other side you can use it for like building trust, for example.
Could be a testimonial.
Yeah, logos, examples of how the app works. And then the other part is that you have to click twice, so you can save one click by doing it this way.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then can you actually, let's go to that space where there was the opportunity for introducing a stepper. Maybe if you could sign up again, Sid.
Okay, create a new account.
Yeah, with the initial onboarding. Okay, I'm gonna give a plug to everyone who's watching right now. Candu is a fantastic tool for creating any of these UI elements that we're referring to, like adding access to a help center or use cases and just embedding them inside of your app without writing any code. I was filling the empty state in our webinar.
Yeah, on this screen, actually, the first time I didn't understood why it's all necessary. It wasn't until I went through the whole process that I really understood that this is what builds the AA. So I think making sure that the user understands that before filling this form will improve the information quality.
Sid, I know that you included some of that information under the tell me more, but I think especially if you're just testing out the product and you just want to get to what the point of the product is faster, users don't read. Right. So it might be useful if you added some of that information to this page rather than hide it under the tell me more link.
Okay, yeah.
Since we're a little low on time right now, I was thinking, are there any other major things that you wanted to point out?
I want to point out some of the things I thought you did really well, which is I liked that all of the messages I get from the product are from you. It helps make it more personal, and it makes me feel like you're really trying to help the user succeed personally, as opposed to some faceless company sending you emails. So I thought that was really good. And I really like the kind of fun branding you have throughout the site.
And then Sid, any specific questions that you want to ask the panelists? Like you have a particular pain point that you want to address?
So the main point about getting to that aha moment faster is something that we have been thinking about as well. And there's like this balance of, we need a lot of information about your company, brand, and your product and whatnot to create really good content, the aha content, like the value props and stuff that you saw. And without that information, it would just be very generic. And then you'd be like, it's okay. So like, how do we balance that kind of getting to that aha moment faster, but also not having to go through all the typing and stuff?
Okay, I'm not qualified for this, but I have an idea. Potentially what it is you can set an expectation about what the aha is on the page where you're getting information from the user. So what I mean is it could be something like panel where on the left side you have the inputs and then on the right side you have the outputs. So when somebody comes to the page, you're already signaling to them that, hey, on this page, here's what you add, and then this is what you're going to get out of it. And so then it reduces that extra step, and it creates that forecasting, right, for the user, which pulls them in more. What do you think, design panelists? Was that
I think
plausible?
that's an idea. Yeah. Actually, I think for inspiration, Asana does something like that for the onboarding. And I think they do a really good job, because it's this differentiation between just writing down versus doing stuff, or reading stuff versus learning through doing stuff, which is more engaging.
Great. If there's nothing else very urgent, Sid, I think we'll move on to Superblog.
Awesome.
Sid, thanks for participating.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It wasn't, you didn't get torn down too much.
Yeah, this is very good. Thank you. And thanks to
thank you, Sid. Oh, we actually got Alex from the, I know. Alex, thanks for joining. So we got a comment from Alex. He said, you could potentially streamline and refill some of these fields by using something like a Clearbit. That's a very clever idea, right? So you can do like automated enrichment and populating those fields just for asks for a website. And then, you can autofill a lot of that data. That's a great idea too. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
So Sai, why don't you please reintroduce yourself, give a 1-sentence pitch about what is Superblog, and then take us through your demo.
Sure. So most of us here know how painful it is to set up a blog and make sure it is perfectly optimized. Now let us see how easy it is with Superblog. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, guys. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way. Yeah, so this is your landing page for Superblog, and we click on the CTA. Oh, my 2-step verifications. God, sorry about that. There's a mix-up, I guess.
It's okay. You're not fundraising. No worries, Sai.
Guys, let me switch out.
Yeah, that's cool. You're okay. Most of us are patient here. I don't know about Rocío. By the way, Danita, I really enjoyed the positive feedback that you gave, and I think we should make that as part of the process. It's like they talk about the sandwich feedback.
Yeah.
Positive, the critical
feedback.
I
usually try to give both.
Okay, great. So let's do some more sandwich feedback.
So Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So yes, so let's create a new blog for our site. And this is our blog's URL. And just like that, we have a functioning live blog. That's all we had to do. And let us go ahead and create a new post. This is usually much faster because of my screen sharing. It's taking a bit of time.
No problem.
Yeah. And interestingly, Superblog shows you real-time tips like how to format your content. Now the idea is to increase the list, like the number of words in the title, content, number of images, headings and subheadings and all that. So my goal is to increase content on the fly. And let me just publish this post, and then let me hit deploy. So I'm going to talk here. So for every other blogging platform, it's pretty straightforward. You create a blog, you create a post. Then the trouble starts. You need to hire an experienced freelancer, or in-house tech team to optimize your blog and make sure it scores well in Google audits in SEO, performance, accessibility. And the phase 2 of that problem, let us assume you hit 1 million visitors a month scale. And even before that, your blog will start to slow down. And then comes the problem of handling your server traffic and make sure your content doesn't slow down your site. So it's basically you need to spend a lot of time or money or bring in additional resources to fix these things. With Superblog, you just hit deploy, and your content and your blog will go through almost like 6 algorithms to optimize your content so that you'll score 95 plus in Google audits without doing anything from your side. So that's the reason it takes around 2 minutes to optimize your content and then make it live to the world. So we are just done with the publishing. You would have gotten an email alert. Let me just, so we got an email. So this is our blog. Yeah. So as you can see, it's like pretty fast. So the moment of truth, I've been talking so much about optimized blog, audits and all that. So this is an official tool by Google to make sure your blog passes all the metrics and checks. Yeah, page speed insights is just one part of the equation. So here you get a whole bunch of recommendations. So that's your Superblog. Without lifting a finger, you get perfectly optimized blog.
With that article that had 2 typos, The entire body had 2 types.
Yeah, but I can show you an actual live blog if that makes sense. Just to
Yeah, starting to turn into a roast. It's not a teardown anymore.
Sure. I can actually take a real live blog and show you the audit if you guys are interested.
Yes, it'd be awesome.
Fantastic. So this is the client's blog, and they write extremely lengthy articles. To answer your question, Adam, so just look at the length of the article, right? And the images that they have. I think it's around 10,000 words plus. It's never ending. See, this is such a big article. And now I'm going to do an audit for that. So I hope it works, unlike the login thing.
This is cool. I've actually never seen web.dev before.
Okay.
I've only used PageSpeed Insights.
With PageSpeed, you just get this particular metric.
Right.
Yeah. See, with this new URL, these are the scores that we got, right? So generally to get this kind of audits, you need to spend a lot.
Great. Thank you. Sai, maybe you could share, what would you say today in terms of your customer funnel is your 1 or 2 biggest pain points?
Okay. So I actually just made a note of that. Can I just, so you want me to explain the pain points, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, just for the audience and also so we can curate feedback.
Sure. Okay. Finding the right audience for this stuff, because majority of blogging ecosystem is with either individual bloggers or casual bloggers, or maybe companies who just want a blog. They don't care about how fast it loads, whether they're scoring well in SEO, whether they're scoring well in core web vitals, all that aspects. So me narrowing that particular structure and to get the right ideal customer profile is being tough to find them and give them the demo and then get them on board.
Was there anything else you wanted to share, Sai, or that's the main pain point?
So that's the biggest pain point.
Okay.
Usually when I hit that ideal customer, they just sign up.
Okay, perfect. Great. So Rocío, Danita, floor is yours. Remember the sandwich?
Sorry, guys. I think I really forgot to tell you that this is a super blog.
Yeah.
It's powered by super blog. So audience might think this is some other blog.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, Danita.
Can you maybe go to your marketing site?
Just a sec. Yes.
So I think some of the things that you mentioned that you are struggling with here on the marketing site, it is unclear which kind of blogger you're targeting. And it might be helpful here to create a funnel and actually mention both types of bloggers. Because I think that would help both casual bloggers and companies who probably have a lot of content but just don't want to have to maintain the blogging part of it. It would help them know that this product is for both types of users.
Okay.
Yeah, I think part of the feedback that we gave to Broca applies as well here. And yeah, here I was thinking as well, I was missing some visual information that will on one side give you an idea of what's the platform about. The other part that I when I saw it, I thought it was confusing because it talks about WordPress and Medium, and I automatically thought it was something similar. And I thought, okay, what's the difference? What's the value proposition? So maybe having a way to emphasize that, to make sure that that doesn't happen, will help. As a positive feedback, I think having the logos on the main site helps building trust, and it's really good.
So I like your CTA. I'll create your blog in 5 minutes. I thought that was setting expectations right there at the call to action. I thought that was clever.
Okay.
I also really liked your trial period and that you state that no credit card is required. I think that really helps people who might be hesitant at least click on the link and try it out.
Sure.
Yeah. Regarding the landing page, the other thing that I missed was just a small detail. Just having the menu all the time on the top will help a lot, because that way you don't have to scroll back to the top. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think if we can go to the login and sign up pages.
So is the dashboard?
I think.
Can you log in again? Or
Okay.
and maybe try it with create a new account.
Okay. So
I guess you can also sign in with or sign up without the OAuth. You could just fill a form if you don't have Google.
Superblog, I want to make sure that there is no password for login basically. So there is only OAuth or sign in with a magic link.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
Magic
actually
link
one
is,
of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that was actually one of our feedback points,
Uh-huh.
I think, was that the magic link. I'm not sure a lot of users are used to the login pattern. I think we're used to it maybe once we already have created an account, but as a sign up mechanism, it's a little off-putting, I think. And then also that you get, like, it was a little bit wonky when I signed up, and I think Rocío also had a issue with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
should we go to the sign up?
So I think the main feedback regarding the sign up was actually the magic link. For me, it was a bit confusing that I have to ask for the magic link every time I go to the dashboard. Magic links may work for some use case, but I think it's something a bit, it doesn't always work, I would say.
Sure. Password, not passwordless. I get that. Okay.
Then the other thing I would say is in general about your branding, I think in some places you should experiment with adding like just a tad bit more space. Like there could be a little bit more padding above the headline or make the headline slightly smaller. And I think that would help give it a more premium feel, similar to Medium.
Yeah, so maybe we can go to the dashboard.
Just a second. Okay, so the dashboard.
Yeah, I think similarly to what we talk about with Broca, there's a lot of empty space here that can be a great opportunity to explain a little bit more about the product and how it works, especially when you have already a blog page. But when you don't have any, the first time you log in, you just have this big picture, a big empty splash illustration that can be used maybe in some engaging way. It takes a lot of space. Maybe because also I realized that the video tutorial, you have to click twice in order to get to that video tutorial, but you have enough space to just show it there.
Okay.
And the other thing I thought of was when I saw the video tutorial, I thought it was great. And I also thought it was great that you provide a step-by-step guide. But once you close the pop-up, there's no way that I could see to access it again. And you have to remember that a lot of times users just automatically click close for pop-ups without even reading what it is. They're just like, I just want to get to what the product is, and I'll just close the window and try to get to the aha moment faster. So you need to also provide that information somewhere else in the app.
Sai, can you go to the onboarding page just for the audience to have some more context about what we're talking about with the video?
Okay. So the landing page?
Okay, yes. And one of my feedbacks was this. I feel like the video tutorial you give is actually probably a more advanced use case, because this is for a custom domain. And one, it may not be the target audience. And then two, it also is just like a more complex like onboarding flow. And you might be able to do yourself a favor by just having the more simplistic onboarding flow, because I felt like the video, and I guess the context for the audience is that Superblog has the option to have a custom domain. And then also you can just use the Superblog domain. And then Sai has, this video is primarily about using the custom domain, but I felt like you spent more time inside of GoDaddy than inside your own app.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these are effective though. Danita, Rocío, do you find that these types of videos are helpful?
They are, but I think there should just be a place for accessing all of the like different tutorial videos from your site, which was actually one of my points. So can you go back to the previous screen with the list of the site? So can you click on manage? Oh, wait, before you do that, sorry. I didn't know that manage was going to lead me to, because I understand write a new blog post is, but when I see manage as the other CTA, I have no idea what that is going to lead me to. And then when you click on manage, I didn't expect to see all of this functionality that you see on the left-hand side. And then also on this page, I thought that clicking on you don't see help on the sidebar. And so I thought, oh, maybe if you click on this question mark at the top, it would explain, it would be a help section, but it's not, it only explains about deploying a site. So maybe you could add additional navigation to the top that has.
So everything you can search, it shows here.
Oh, but see, that's a little confusing because you don't know if that search is for the, that just implies searching, not helping. And also you're not sure if that search is the same as the search bar that's below.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think, oh yeah, sorry, Danita.
Oh no, it's okay. What was your question?
I was just curious for both you and Rocío. So for the page when you're first setting up your new blog, would it make sense to have potentially multiple videos? So you'd have help panel on, and then you have your effectively like your different funnels. So it might be the casual bloggers and it might be however you want to call it, the enterprises, and then you have a different video for each one and slash, you know, some text slash links to documentation. Would that be a way to handle both use cases?
I think videos work if you want like a deeper understanding of something, but for onboarding, to me, I think it's more engaging to have a progress bar with a few checklists in where you can check the item. That is very engaging because that helps feeling the need of completion of like finishing everything and this is already done. Yeah, and
the video, just to clarify that, so the video should not be for navigation. It shouldn't be for pointing you how to get started, but it should rather be more of a reference when you're lost.
Yeah, I think so.
Then you can refer to the video. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you,
I'm getting a lot out of this.
Can you go back and maybe create a new, or actually you can do it from here. Oh, can you create a new post?
Okay.
So here, I thought that the SEO best practices list was really good because I liked that you gave the tip and then you also do the count. I think updated, that to me was like a progress bar in a way, because I was trying to get green check marks for each of these items. And then the other thing, but the only thing was that I felt like if you're like a casual blogger, some of these tips might not make sense to you, or you might not understand why or how that affects the SEO. So it might be, this would be a good opportunity to maybe link to best practices articles, either that you've written or they can be like outside resources. And the other thing that I found a little problematic was, can you click on the adding a photo? So I thought it was great that you offer both the uploading a photo or uploading by link, but I couldn't get the link one to work. And the other thing that I thought was a little confusing is that there isn't a suggested image size. And then I know that you automatically downsample if image is too big, but the downsampling was, and I know that's for SEO, but, or not SEO, but for ranking higher on Google, but it doesn't, there isn't any tips here on what that size should be. And I didn't understand what basic meant, or didn't know what to expect if I selected basic for the alignment.
What would be helpful here, Danita? Do you think tooltips might be useful?
So I wouldn't even hide like what the expected or ideal value is. I would just put that as an instruction above the field.
I think we're going to have to wrap up now, but Sai, I hope this teardown wasn't too intense. Do you have any last words? No, but anything specific you wanted to get feedback on that we didn't cover yet?
Just see, my biggest problem is to explain people about Jamstack, and I'm not even targeting casual bloggers now, because casual bloggers, they find other less premium blogging platforms, and because they don't really need all this extra optimizations. So now even for the power users, so when they click deploy, I'm just explaining them what's going to happen when they click deploy here. But generally the audience expectation is that when they hit publish, their post is ready. But with the whole optimizations in place and the pre-building the entire blog and then deploying, I need to find a way to explain it without being much technical.
I thought that the copy you had here was okay. It just didn't make sense to me that you also have pro tip hidden under the accordion, and it says the same thing as above. And then also,
so I wanted to.
And then I also thought the learn more information didn't need to be in an accordion. It could just as part of the modal, and you could just get rid of the accordion altogether. But the other thing is maybe you need some kind of illustration here that kind of explains it as well visually. Because I think sometimes when people see a technology sounding copy, they just tune it out. I think having a visual would also help. And I also thought you could think about renaming what you call this button or what you call this process. I understand why you picked deploy, but I think for people who are not technical, it might be a little off-putting, and you could use different copy there.
Okay.
Could it be publish?
Yeah.
Wait, and publish.
Yeah.
What order is that?
Maybe.
Optimize. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate you coming up in front of a live audience, in front of 2 senior designers to get feedback. I hope this was helpful for you. So for everyone who's attending and those who are watching later, the 2 entrepreneurs who've attended, Sid and Sai, are going to be receiving a slide deck from both Rocío and Danita, which has literally like screenshot by screenshot of the user flow with feedback on how they can make improvements. And so I want everyone to be aware of that, because this is not only an opportunity to showcase your startup to a larger audience and get live feedback, but also you get to take away something valuable to work on. It has more details than what we've even discussed today. So I want to thank Sai and Sid again for attending today, and Danita and Rocío. By the way, can you hear me? My headphones just turned off. Okay, great. Thank you so much for being our guest designers today. Anything that anybody wanted to add before we sign off?
It's been incredibly helpful generally for indie hackers and solo founders to get this kind of feedback. It's really tough. So I really want to thank you, Rocío and Danita and Adam and Jonathan, for making this happen. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
So I've had an awkward moment. So give me 1 second. Can everyone hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not hear anything in the last 20 seconds, so I apologize. I hope you didn't say anything offensive, but yeah, is anything else you wanted?
You mean regarding the
Closing words?
No, just this was a lot of fun, and I hope we help you. And it's really 2 really good products. I hope we were not too harsh. Yeah, it was really nice.
Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are in the world. And look forward to seeing you again in the near future. I'll keep you all updated on the next product teardown. So take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.